Good morning, everybody. So, today we proceed with the next lecture on fuzzy logic. In this, we would talk about fuzzy rules. But before we know what are fuzzy rules, let's understand what is the need of fuzzy rules. Okay, so based on whatever we have learned till now, let's talk about what is a fuzzy system. With the current understanding, we just know that fuzzy system is based on fuzzy logic. And fuzzy logic is what? It is a problem solving strategy which can encompass the uncertainty in the real world just like a human brain. So that makes it more closer to the real world problems and better fit for problem solving in the real world. Let's say consider designing a camera with fuzzy logic based on autofocusing. Okay, so this is already in use by Canon, but just taking one example for that. So before we have to design a system, what do you think we need to design a fuzzy logic based system? First thing is we have to decide upon why do we even need to incorporate the fuzzy logic in a system. The first thing is for better accuracy in the improved results, because with that we are going to increase the capability of our system to deal with a wider uh, range of the situations. Okay, next very important factor is fuzzy logic. It gives me a simpler implementation, unlike the systems which depend upon the complex mathematical models. So there is no mathematical model as such we need to define. We only need to define the logic which is based on certain ranges of the input and then map those ranges to the ranges of the uh, approximate outputs. Okay, and the last is it relates better to the real world situations, as being said by Einstein, the famous scientist who said, so far as the laws of mathematics refer to reality, they are not certain, and so far as they are certain, they do not refer to reality. So that is very apt for explaining why do we need fuzzy logic, because mathematics it is based on deterministic certainty and real world is more of uncertain. So we cannot say that all the mathematical models they are capable of handling the real world situations. Obviously that gives fuzzy logic or fuzzy logic based systems an edge over the conventional systems. So our first part when we are going to design any fuzzy system is very clear why we are using fuzzy logic. So in the simplest form, without using any mathematical relationships, how do I instruct my machine to perform a desired action? So the obvious thing is I can simply give it instructions, or I can say I can form certain rules and I can program those rules in the form of instructions to be given to my machine. So my machine will follow those and it can give me the output based on that. For example, I can, for my camera example of the autofocusing, I can frame a rule. If the background is dark, then apply sharp filter. So here it is dealing with the situation dark. So dark is not going to deal with the intensity of light at a single value, but a range of values. So it knows when it is dark, I have to apply a sharp filter. So sharp filter is a fuzzy variable of the output. Dark is the fuzzy variable of the input. So a kind of rule base has to be formed, or a kind of inference mechanism has to be incorporated to design a fuzzy system. So this leads me to a very important concept or stage of designing a fuzzy system, which is known as fuzzy inference system, or in the short form this is known as FIS. So fuzzy inference system, it is one of the very important concepts which is used as the base for designing any fuzzy system, and it is also known as fuzzy rule based system. Okay, So let's see what this fuzzy inference system is and what are fuzzy rules. Okay, so basically this is the typical structure or architecture of a fuzzy inference system. In this we have three main blocks, that is a fuzzifier, there is an inference engine, and there is a defuzzifier. So the role of fuzzifier is actually to take the crisp inputs and convert them into the fuzzy sets as formed by the problem, okay, which is under consideration. For example, for designing a fuzzy based autofocusing camera, we have the uh, crisp inputs का intensity of light. So that intensity of light would be converted into a fuzzy range. Okay, that whether it is falling in the dark, whether it is falling in the daytime, whether it is falling in early morning. So that is fuzzification. Once the fuzzification is done, the next thing is passing the thing to fuzzy inference engine. Now this is what is the heart of your fuzzy inference system. So inference engine is nothing but it is actually a rule based or a database or a knowledge base, whatever you can say, which is based on the rules what you have framed for forming the mapping between your input towards output. So for drawing that inference that if this is the value of the input, then that will be the output. For example, if temperature is high, then the water is hot. So forming this kind of rule base is part of the inference engine. Once that inference engine is having that knowledge, based on the input it can predict the value of the output, and that predicted output which is there, that is further given to defuzzifier for converting it into the crisp output. Now let's dig ourselves a little deeper into what is an inference engine structure. So if we see the structure of the inference engine, this is the typical structure where we are receiving the fuzzy input. So this fuzzy input is being received from the fuzzifier, and then in the fuzzy inference engine we are having all these rules. So these rules, they are comprising the knowledge base or the rule base or the database which is driving my fuzzy inference engine. So in this I have different values of my inputs. If x is this, then y is that. If x1 is a, then y1 is b. If x2 is d, then y2 is e, and so on. So these are the rules where x1, x2 are the different fuzzy inputs, and each of them, they must be related to different fuzzy sets, membership sets, based on what is the range of the values or what is the universe of discourse which is being divided into different sets. And similarly y, y1, y2, these are again the different output values which are there, which can be taken up by your output and they will be mapped to a particular set. And once we have this mapping done by the inference engine, that it is able to identify, means first thing is you are taking the crisp input, that is current time, current intensity. For example, in case of our autofocusing camera example, yes, we are accepting the input, that is crisp input. For example, in case of our camera focusing problem, what is the current time? Let's say it must be intensity of light, which is a deterministic single value. Once that value is there, that is converted into a fuzzy input, that is according to a fuzzy set. Whether it is dark, it is early morning, it is morning, it is good daylight. So any fuzzy set can be there. Once it is mapped to the fuzzy set, then a fuzzy matching is there between the rules from this rule base. Once the matching with this fuzzy rule is done, the next step is getting the output corresponding to that rule. So based on the rule, we get the value of the output and the value of the output is again going to be fuzzy. So likewise, different input values are applied, and we are going to give certain rules which are going to have certain matching with based on the input. So based on the input, once we get the different outputs from different rules, next very important step is aggregation. So aggregation is next very important step. So aggregation is where the outputs coming from the different rules in the rule base, they are combined together, and based on that my actual output is predicted. So it is not that single rule matching is there. So rule matching is done with the different rules, and based on that rule matching, the combination operator is applied, and aggregation operator is applied, and this aggregator operator is going to give me the net output, and this output is a fuzzy output, which is then actually converted by the defuzzifier back into the crisp output. So it is converted back into the crisp output. So this is how the fuzzy inference engine it is going to work. So now we are very clear on this, what is fuzzy inference system and why it is needed and how it is going to work. With this understanding, we now realize what is the importance of fuzzy rules in designing of a fuzzy system. So let us consider a small example to understand this process of designing a fuzzy system and the role of fuzzy inference engine. So consider we need to design a system which controls the speed of the fan as per the temperature of the room. So the input variable here is temperature, and the output variable is going to be the speed of the fan. So we identify three fuzzy sets for representing our temperature, that is low, medium and high. Whereas for the output variable, which is the fan speed, we identify another three sets which are slow, medium and fast. Okay. So first thing which we need to have is, we have already made the fuzzy sets. We have thought about the member functions which are going to represent them. Some ranges must have been planned for each of the sets. Now after that, what we need is a rule base. So just taking a small example, I have kept a very small rule base. So the first rule says is, if the temperature is low, then speed is slow. If the temperature is medium, then the speed is medium. If the temperature is high, then the speed is fast. Okay. So these three rules, they are constituting my rule base. Now let's see how it works. So I have the rule base. I have the membership function for the input and the output system. So let's say my current input of the temperature of the room is 25 degree, which is a crisp value. So I want to know that when the room temperature is 25 degree, what will be the speed of the fan as decided by my fuzzy system. So for that, consider the fuzzy sets for the input. So these are representing the trapezoidal sets. They are representing the fuzzy set for inputs, whereas these are the fuzzy sets for my output. Okay, here the variation is shown for the temperature in degree centigrade, and in case of the output fuzzy sets, the triangular membership functions have been used, and the variation of the limits of these fuzzy sets, they have been shown in RPM. Okay, that is rotations per minute. So let's say the room temperature is 25 degree. So at 25 degree, my input must be somewhere lying here on the, okay. So this 25 degree, which is a crisp value, now this is actually drawing its membership in two fuzzy sets. One is medium and the other is low. So in case of medium, it is having a membership value of 1, Whereas in case of no, it is driving a membership value of somewhere around 0.25. Okay. So one input I am having, but it is drawing or it is activating two rules from my rule base. Once these two rules are activated, depending upon the membership value, it means for this the value or the value which is represented by this low fuzzy set membership, I will have some output which is there in the set slow of the output, whereas for the value of the input which is falling in the medium uh, membership function of the input, I will have some value of the output variable falling in the medium set. So now my output is, it is actually coming from the two rules which are there, and each of this set must be giving some membership value. Let's say mu1 from set slow and mu2 from set median. So once I have these two values, I need to actually aggregate these values mu1 and mu2 in some fashion so that I get my output. So let the mu1 value fall around zero point 0.3. So I just identify my cut in the set slow at zero point 0.3 and let the value of mu2 from the set medium come around 0.7. So my fuzzy rule according to my given value of input activates by two fuzzy sets in the output, that is slow and medium, with some membership 0.3 from the set slow and some membership value of 0.7 from the set medium. Now this results in a new fuzzy graph which is going to be there for my output. So if I try to just mark this area under this curve shown in red. So this is the resultant output which is coming from the aggregation. So aggregation is nothing but it is combining together the outputs from two different rules or more than one rules which have been activated in my rule base based on the current value of the input. So this aggregation I have showed it as graphical. I have just taken one example. Otherwise they are different aggregator operators. So once I get this aggregated or the combined output result of from my rule base, I need to get a single value of what should be the speed of my fan by defuzzifying the output from this area. So there are different methods of defuzzification, finding the mean of maxima, finding the centroid of this area. So different methods are there. So that can be applied and finally we'll get a single value of the speed of the fan which should be there according to my room temperature, that is 25 degree. So I hope we are clear on how actually it is going to work. So just summarizing the design steps. First the inputs they are fuzzified using the input membership functions. Then we identify a rule base for forming the mapping between the input sets and the output sets. So this is actually the role of your inference engine. Then a fuzzy matching operation is performed based on the given value of the input, how much different rules they are matching, and based on that which output fuzzy sets they are activated, and for each fuzzy rule, its rule strength is determined. So this fuzzy rule strength is then combined together by the aggregation operator that may be carried out graphically for the continuous functions, or it may be a mathematical operation used for discrete fuzzy sets. So that gives me what is the resultant of the combined output from the different rules which have been activated. And finally, we try to defuzzify the output which is achieved from the aggregation step to get a crisp single value of the output. Okay. So once we are very clear, now we understand what is the importance of the rule base in my designing of a fuzzy system. So what is a rule base actually? So rule base is nothing but it imports the knowledge about the system in the form of if-then rules. So the rules, they are existing in the form of if and then structure. With typical example I will take, if background is dark, then apply sharp filter. So this part which lies between if and then, this specifies a condition and it is known as the antecedent of your if-then rule. And the other part, that is the second part of the rule following the then part, it is known as the consequent and deals with the output. So antecedent, it refers to the input variable condition, and this condition, if it is satisfied, then my consequent or the output, it is going to take the value as specified in this rule. The next very important thing to know is that my antecedent, that can be fuzzy, that is always fuzzy in nature because we are dealing with fuzzy systems. But my consequent can be fuzzy, or it can be crisp value, or it can be a functional value. So fuzzy, we understand it will be a set, like we just took the example, last example we saw for the fan speed. So the outputs, they were fuzzy in nature because there were different fuzzy sets identifying the speed of the fan. If instead of sets I make use of the single value, okay, the fan speed is 150 rpm or 300 rpm, that is a crisp value. But there is another possibility of the consequent taking the functional value. Now, what is the functional value? Functional value is when there is a mathematical relationship which holds between the input and the output. Like in this case, here we are specifying my x1 is equal to y1x plus c. So this is doing what? This is specifying a condition on my uh, consequent, or a relation on my consequent, which says that if x1 is a, then y1 is equal to x1 plus c. Okay, so this is a example of a functional output which is based on some mathematical relationship. Okay, so if I talk about this antecedent part, which is also called the left hand side of my fuzzy rule, then we are going to calculate the degree of fulfillment of each rule using some logic operator. Okay, whereas if we talk about right hand side, which is dealing with the consequent or the output part, we calculate the degree of uh, fulfillment for my consequent. Okay, so each side a fuzzy matching is calculated, and based on the degree of fulfillment of a particular fuzzy set, their membership value is computed, and these computed values from different rules, they are aggregated further. Okay, So coming back to our if-then rules. So if I generalize this, I can say any fuzzy rule is of the form if X is A, then Y is B. So this is the canonical form of the fuzzy rule, which is typically of the structure if then. If a condition on the input and Y is the output, or what is the output on fulfillment of the condition specified. Okay, but it can be in the if then else form also, or it can be combining more than two input variables. So those composite forms of the fuzzy rules are also there, which we'll eventually see later. So we can say a rule base is nothing but collection of the rules for a particular system characterizing that system behavior between the input and the output variables. Further, by fuzzy rules, they can be of two types. They can be fuzzy mapping rules and they can be implication rules. Now, fuzzy mapping rules, they are used for approximating a function of interest on the set of observable parameters to one or more parameters whose values are unknown. So, it is based on relational inference, which tries to map a function or an approximation of a relationship between the input and the output variables, where input variable is known and output is set of certain unobservable or unknown parameters. So I need to know the output based on them. Okay. So I can just say that it is a function approximation which imposes an elastic constraint on the possible association between the input and the output variables. Okay. So it makes use of the linguistic terms. If temperature is low, fan speed is slow. If temperature is high, fan speed is fast. So we are using the linguistic variables of the terms fast, slow, medium. So they are used to map between the fuzzy sets of the input and the output. So we are doing some approximate mapping between the input and the output space. Next we have is the fuzzy implication rules. Fuzzy implication rules, they are based on the compositional inference. So that means there is an implication which is given by a logic formula based on the predicate logic. So it is based on the predicate logic and a logic formula is used to form the implication that if this is the input, what does this imply for the output? Okay, so they are said to be based on the compositional inference. Okay, so just summarizing our discussion on the fuzzy rule based and differentiating between the two types of fuzzy rules, I can say that fuzzy implication rules, they generalize the implications for handling imprecision of the problem, whereas the fuzzy mapping rules, they approximate the functional mappings. Okay. Further, the fuzzy implication rules, they are given by generalized modern polens and modern tolens. So GMPs and GMTs, these are the part of the predicate logic we'll do in the coming lectures. So they are the basis of your implication rules. Whereas in case of fuzzy mapping rules, there is a simple association between the linguistic terms representing the fuzzy input space and the fuzzy output space. Okay. So generally we make use of fuzzy mapping rules for continuous non-linear domains, whereas fuzzy implication rules, they are preferred for continuous as well as discrete variables. So with this understanding, we are going to now move further in understanding what a fuzzy mapping rule mapping rules, and how are they implemented in the design of a fuzzy system. This we'll do in our next lecture. Thank you so much.